Welcome to Pen the Writer's Utopia. Listen, I am so excited tonight. Do you know why? First of all, it's the first time that we get to be in the studio since the pandemic, number one. Number two, I'm excited because I'm celebrating the fantastic authors of Key to Life Publishing. And number three, baby, it's the birthday of yours truly. And it's the birthday of Key to Life Publishing, which is also how we got Pen the Writer's Utopia. So listen, tonight is a night of celebration, and I don't know, I'm not in here by myself. Let's start that. So can I hear my audience? See, I'm not by myself, right? I know they were super quiet because we're coming on air and everything, but listen, I am so grateful for this opportunity. I can't even put into words how grateful I am to be here today, tonight, this evening. As Mr. Denzel would say, it's probably been a long time coming for us to be in here. So I'm super excited. I hope you're super excited. It's a night of celebration. And as always, I'm going to tell you, while we're celebrating in here, you can be celebrating online by simply going to our website, www.keytolife, that's QUI, the number 2, LIFE.com. Take advantage of the sales that's going on right now for all of the authors' books, right? You want to support them. And then tonight, as you listen to their stories, I'm telling you, you're going to want to pick up your little internet, your iPad or whatever. You're going to want to get in and get you a book, because some of these stories that we're going to be talking about tonight are some amazing, amazing stories of triumph, right? So without further ado, let me just say, we wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for our wonderful, wonderful sponsors. So I want to give them a shout out tonight. Thank you so much to Barget Aesthetic Studios. You are amazing. Thank you for coming on board and supporting us and getting the show on air tonight. Thank you to Sea Turtle Auto Detailing. You again are amazing. Thank you for coming on board and helping us to make this night possible. GE Staffing, I can't say enough. Thank you again for supporting and being with us. And Medallion Travels. Listen, I'm telling you, as writers, sometimes you got to take a trip, baby. Not just in your mind, but sometimes you need to take a trip somewhere so that you can relax, get in the mood to write. Sometimes that boosts your creativity, right? So thank you so much to all of our official sponsors and to our other sponsors that came on board, which you'll get to see their commercials throughout the night as well. So, done a lot of talking, and you know me, I'm used to talking to y'all by myself, but tonight I got people to talk with me, to you, right? But I want to start by just giving you a little bit of detail about Key to Life Publishing. It started with my own book, Recognizing the Real Me, which is around here in the studio in different places. Recognizing the Real Me was my baby. It was the gift that keeps giving. Out of me writing the book, well, first of all, I'm gonna be honest. I was told many, many years ago that I was supposed to write a book. But me having the love for film and television, I was like, me write a book? Like, are you sure you got the right person? Because you see, I'm in my element, right? But I thought I was going to be on the other side of the camera, writing screenplays and that sort of thing. But y'all had something different in mind for me. He wanted me to write the book because after I released my book, then he gave me the idea to have my own publishing company to help others birth their stories. Others that are just like me. You're writing your first time book. It seems like an impossible feat in the beginning, especially when it's something you've never done, especially for those who are like, I am not a writer, right? You're not a writer, but you have a story in your belly, right? Well, that's how Key to Life Publishing came along. We came along to help those who are purpose to birth stories that will bring healing to the land. That's how Key to Life got started. Can you believe it's been 5 years now? 5 wonderful, adventurous years. And we have the authors to prove it. We small, baby, but we mighty. We come with a powerful, powerful punch of healing for the land. And so tonight, I'm excited. I'm so excited to share with you some of the stories of our authors that trusted me, that trusted the Yah in me to help them birth their stories. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're celebrating. There's one author that couldn't be with us tonight, and there's no way in the world I could have this show without talking about her. And that was Wanda, or that is rather Wanda Gregory. Wanda Gregory wrote the wonderful book, Great Morning #Watch God. Why is that book so important to me? Because that was the very first book I ever published outside of my own. She was the first person to trust me and say, T, I'm in this thing with you, and we're going to get this book written. I know you'll help me get there. And we did that, and she became a best-selling author on Amazon. And I encourage you, if you have not put your hands on the book, Great Morning #Watch God, you can go on over to Amazon.com right now and purchase the Kindle version of her book. That's the easiest way to get it in your hands. It's a great way. It's a great devotional to help you through the journey of love and gratitude, okay? So, I know y'all excited. I'm excited. I don't want to talk too much, not just by myself, because I got so many people I can talk to tonight, right? Y'all still here with me, right? Oh, all right. Okay, so with that being said, I think I have, no, I haven't. No, I haven't. That's the beauty of live TV. You can remember what you didn't remember. Well, I also wanted to shout out the fact that we're celebrating that it's National Reading Month. Yes, come on, National Reading Month. And most of our roster, because what I did not mention was that as we have fine-tuned over the years with Key to Life Publishing, we fine-tuned and we know that we are here for our women. So it's National Women's History Month, baby. And most of our roster is women. So can we give it up for our women that are still today making history? Awesome awesomeness. So now that I got all that out of the way, now we can get the party started, baby. So we'll be right back on the other side of this break. And when we come back, we're going to feature the rare gentleman that's in our collection, Mr. Abraham Henderson. All right, so you go get your snack. You know how to do this. Go get your snack, grab you some water, because we snacking in here. We got our water and our juice. You go get yours, and you come right back on the other side of this commercial. This is Pen the Writer's Utopia, baby, here on You Broadcast Media.
Whether it's a snow adventure in the mountains or a train trip across the country, a tour of the Greek Isles, or sailing the seas, Elegant 3 Travel will get you there.
Hello, my name is Ashanti Lester, and I am your next real estate agent with Remax Elegance, located in Brandywine, Maryland. With 0% luck and 100% hustle, we are here to support you as your ambassador and to guide you on your next journey to find your dream home. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or just looking for an investment property, we are expert realtors who can turn your wants into a reality. So welcome home.
Global Executive Staffing provides top-level staffing to federal and private sector companies at the most competitive price. We are experts in coordinating projects from design to development, and we teach others the business of federal contracting in collaboration with the Louisiana MBDA Business Center. Global Executive Staffing is the Department of Veteran Affairs, Center for Veterans Enterprise, certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business. At GES, we meet the needs of our clients on time and within budget, every time. To connect with us, go to www.gestaff.com.
welcome back to Pen the Writer's Utopia. Listen, if you're just tuning in, we are celebrating tonight so many different things, but most of all, we're celebrating Key to Life Publishing authors. I am so excited. So excited. Listen, I'm getting tongue-tied over here because I'm like, I know I gotta bring you back, let you know what we're doing, but I cannot wait to talk to this next guest. He is one of my favorite people. And he is none other than Mr. Abraham Henderson. How you doing, Abe?
Wonderful.
It's so good to see you. Look
Likewise.
At you. You're nice and clean.
Well, I can't stop now.
I know, right? So listen, you have an amazing book that just released with Key to Life Publishing in November. And it is such a page turner, guys. Listen, I'm not just saying this because it's a Key to Life baby. I'm telling you it's a page turner. But the real life story of Abraham is a page turner too, yes?
Yes.
How long ago did y'all tell you were to write a book?
43 years ago.
43 years.
1979.
Wow. Message. Sometimes. No, I gotta give it to you now. I gotta be honest because sometimes you get the download and you get the word, but it's not always for that time because there was so much more of your life that you still had to live that made your testimony even greater, right?
So true.
Yeah. Even down to the point where even at the last minute, he was coming back and he was like, I got to add one more thing. Because things were literally still happening that needed to be included in his testimony. But I'm excited. So why don't you tell the people a little bit about who Abraham is?
First of all, my name is Abraham, and for many years, I did not even go by that name. I went by my middle name, which is Lee. Mm-hmm. So most of the people that knew me I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and where I came from, Abraham really wasn't a popular name. It was a lot of people joked about the name Abraham. So I really did not enjoy being Abraham. So I prayed and I asked God that I would love to change my name. And so I did change it, maybe when I was in 13 years of age. And I started going by my middle name. It was more acceptable. And I continue to trust God to help me to grow into the new me, which, shall I say, someone that I really did not know, just that I knew that I did not want to be Abraham.
Yeah.
And so that's a little bit about who I am. Yeah. I was named after my grandfather. He was a Baptist minister. And but I went by my middle name most of my life. Okay. Until one day, the Spirit of God spoke to me and told me to change my name back to Abraham. And at the time, I really did not want to do this, and I did not want to write. God spoke to me and told me to start writing. Now, I'm not a writer, so I really was not looking forward to writing.
Yeah.
But God knew ahead of time that this would happen. I just didn't know how it would happen. And I really wasn't sure, was I a writer?
Right.
But I had to learn how to be obedient and to do what God had told me to do. And it took a long time for this book to be published, all because I was very disobedient. And so by me being disobedient, I didn't trust God and I didn't trust myself. And so it took a while for this book to come to, reality.
Yeah. And you did. You had quite a journey from the time that you were told to write the book.
Yes.
Until now. Because you have been I like your word. I'm gonna use your word. You were a hustler.
Yes, yes.
For many, many years.
Yeah, in Pittsburgh, at the age of 15, I started selling drugs. And I sold drugs until I was 25. And I was very good at it and well known. And when the power of God spoke to me and told me to get out of the drug life and to write, I was really not sure he was talking to me. So I began to write, but at the same time, I really didn't know what I was supposed to write about. And so I began to write about everything. And in time, so many things happened from the time he told me to write, because at the time, being a drug dealer, I didn't know what I was going to go through. And as time went on, I stopped selling drugs and became a deacon in the church, and really was studying to be a minister, but I knew that I didn't have that in me. Because as a minister, you got to do a lot of studying, and that was never me.
But you know what I wanted to tap on real quick, though? What I love is you admitted your disobedience. You knew that you were supposed to do this.
Yes.
But I love your transformation in that you did get to the point where you like, I don't even know what to do, but I'm just going to start. See, sometimes when you're given a mandate, when Yah gives you a mandate or a command to do something or instructions to do something, you don't always know how to do it at that time, right?
True.
But as you start to do what he's asked you or told you to do, then the path starts to lay itself out. And that's what he did with you. I love that you just started. You was like, I don't know what to write about. I'm just going to write anything.
Yeah, and at the time, like I said, I was still selling drugs. And when I stopped selling drugs in the 80s, I didn't really know what to do with my life, because I really didn't have no job history. So from the age 15, I was a drug dealer. And when I graduated from high school, most of my friends were talking about going to the military, going to college. And my goal was to be a full-time drug dealer. And that's what I did. But when the Spirit of God spoke to me and told me to get out of the business, I was really not sure what will I do. This is all I know. And so when I started writing, I still didn't have an income. And one of the things that, as far as the book, one of the things, even in the midst of not being sure, I had to learn how to trust God.
Yes.
And that was the hardest thing for me, because one of the first things I learned in the drug business, you don't trust anyone, let alone a God that you don't see. And so you're talking, in the drug life, we weren't talking about spirits. We were talking about cash money.
Right. What you could see.
That's right. And so it was a big transition for me to get out of the life and to trust God. But again, in time, I decided to backslide. Left the church, and I decided to start selling drugs again. But when I got out of the drug life, I prayed to God, and I said, now, if I'm going to get out of this business, I'm going to need you to reveal to me what I'm supposed to do, and I need to have a good income, because I'm so used to making good money.
Right.
So whatever I do, I got to be able to enjoy it and make good money.
I love how you gave him your terms. I'm just saying. I love how you gave him your terms and how you was going to do what he told you to do.
Yeah, and again, I was just really getting introduced to God. My parents were, churchgoers, but I really didn't have a relationship with God. And I didn't really, I wasn't the type that walked around with a white collar shirt talking about praise the Lord, praise the Lord. My whole journey was reality. I mean, I had to really learn how to trust God and to believe by faith that all things were possible. And so the journey began. It continued on even when I got out and decided to go back to selling again. I knew that I would not be successful because I prayed to God. I said, if you show me another way of living, I'll never go back.
And he showed you another way.
And he showed me another way. But I decided to go back anyway.
Right.
And when I went back, that's when, in the 80s, freebase cocaine came on the scene. I think in 1982, 83. And before long, it was crack cocaine. And I was trying to sell this product, but at the same time, I'm using it. And God, I'm telling you, nothing but the grace of God is why I'm here today, because I wind up going from being a well-known drug dealer to a well-known crackhead. And I lost everything.
You basically lived out that scripture that says, when the house is swept clean.
That's right.
He comes back to see if he can get in, but he come back 7 times worse.
7 times. And I knew that. I knew it. I heard about it. But I didn't believe that. And when it happened to me, I thought that I would die. I thought that, matter of fact, there were times where I wanted to die because of how far I've fallen and how many people I've hurt. And more than that, I started realizing how disappointed God was in me. And so I really never thought that I'd live to be as old as I am today. I'm 67, and it took 43 years to put this book together. But the reason why it took so long, when people ask me, why did it take so long to write a book? And I had to explain to them, I said, because I really was not ready. God was ready, but I wasn't ready. I continued to be disobedient. I continued to disappoint my family, my wife, my kids, everyone. And finally, I made a decision to surrender to God again. And when I made that decision to surrender to God, I went through a program, a drug rehabilitation program in Fairfax, Virginia. And in the process of going through the program, I learned a lot about myself. And I learned how to take my name back and I've been learning how to represent the power of God, because through everything that I've been through, the hands of God was always there. It's just that I really didn't know it until I looked back over my life and seen exactly where God has brought me from. So I am now the president of the Salvation Army alumni program. And my wife and I, we are ministering there on a regular, helping other people get their life together.
Awesome.
And so again, I travel from different, programs, spreading the love of God, and that there is hope. No matter what you go through, that there is hope. And I try my best to encourage people to believe that even though you may not see it, you got to believe it.
Yeah. And
in time, God will bring it to pass. And it's not something that I read, it's something that I've lived. So I'm just so grateful to God that He allowed me to live as long as I've lived, to be able to get my life together, so that I will not have a tombstone saying, here was Abraham, well known as many other names, and he died as a crackhead. So I'm grateful to God for redemption.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. That was one of the lines that stuck with me from your book. And I was like, wow, you reached that place where you're like, literally, you felt like that was going to be how you were to end.
Yeah, because I caught myself living in the streets, and I was homeless, and staying in shelters, sleeping on the metro, going to the very end and get back on it and go back another way because I was so confused and lost.
Yeah.
And, and I began to pray and ask God, I said that I would rather die than to keep living like this. Mm-hmm. And so one day I called my wife and she said to me, I think you really need help. You've been talking about you can do this for so many years, but you have not done it. And if it was so easy to do, everybody be doing it. You need to surrender. You need to get help. Mm-hmm. And I'm just so grateful to God that I did humble myself enough to get help.
I'm glad you did too.
Praise Him.
Because there are so many people that need your story.
And especially now, especially since the pandemic, they say that since this pandemic, so many people have been, using drugs, mm-hmm. alcohol, getting strung out, and and especially now they have so many different types of drugs out that are killing people. I mean, big time.
It's like everything is laced with everything.
Yes.
You don't know what you get in your hands.
Yes. So, and I'm so grateful that I was not living in that zone. Yeah. Because I'd have been dead. So I'm here today because of you. Oh. I remember the day I met you. And you start telling me about what you could do for me. And I was like, I'm not sure, because I had another brother that said the same thing. Mm-hmm. But it was just something about your spirit that encouraged me to give you a shot. Oh. And I'm just so grateful to God that I did, and you've been such a blessing to me and my family. And the book has been doing very well.
Listen, I ain't gonna tell no lies. His book sells like hotcakes, baby. Hot cakes. But that's because it's such a great story.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not so much of me. I think a lot of people really need hope. Mm-hmm. People need to be encouraged on a daily basis, and it doesn't matter what you go through. It doesn't have to, and it's not even about drugs. It's about life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I talk about my childhood in the book, I'm quite sure there's so many kids need to know that they are necessary.
Yes.
Because young people are taking their life. So many young people are committing suicide. Mm-hmm. And so we as parents, we still need to be able to encourage them by saying, listen to this, someone else has been where you are. Yeah. And they've overcome. And I think that that's the most important thing in the book, is to know that all things are possible, and to learn how to trust the Spirit of God.
Absolutely. So you touched on it, and you probably said it already, but I'm going to give you a chance to directly say it again. So for those that want to go get your book, it's not just about drug dealing. It's not. It's so much more in his story. That we can't even, first of all, we're not going to tell it all to you because you need to go read it, right? You need to go read it. So for those that go and pick up your book, what is it that you want them to look forward to? What is the thing that you want the readers to walk away with and know that this is what you're going to get when you get this book?
I think more than anything is encouragement. It doesn't matter what you're going through, how old you are, where you come from. We all need to be encouraged. And sometimes we look for encouragement from others. We have to learn how to encourage ourselves.
Ourselves, yes. Yes, we
do. So I
do.
think more than anything, because like I says, I'm not no famous writer. I just had to learn how to be obedient to the Spirit of God telling me to do this.
One more time. Run that back one more time.
I said, I'm just so grateful that I had to learn how to be obedient to the Spirit of God telling me to do this.
That's right.
And when he told me to start writing, he said, the book is not for you to read.
It's not for you.
It's for others. And when he told me 43 years ago, I was not a drug user.
No,
I was
you
a drug
living the
dealer.
life. That's right.
And when my life turned, those were things that needed to be wrote about.
Yeah.
And so I'm just so grateful that God allowed me to live through it. And each day I've been learning more and more how to appreciate every breath I breathe.
Love it. Listen, if you don't already have it, I'm going to say it to you now. Go on over to www.keytolife, that's QUI, the number 2, LIFE.com. Grab you a copy of I Am Abraham, My Truth, My Story, My Truth, and My Redemption. Make sure you grab yourself a copy of this amazing story, because literally it is a story of redemption. No,
I mean, and again, it took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while because, people ask me, why did it take so many years? I said, because it took that long for me to surrender and to be obedient to what God was telling me to do.
I'm going to challenge you here, Abraham. I'm not going to tell you no stories. I'm going to challenge you on that. I don't think it was just that you were disobedient. It appears that way because you were told back then to do it, but you hadn't lived the story that needed to be told that was going to help the people that needed you at this time. That's what I think it is.
And I believe that because, like I said, once I stopped selling drugs and got into the church and started studying and became a deacon but when I decided to go back to that life, and it wasn't to go back to the life, it was all about money.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to give them all the story, though, because they need to go read.
All right,
They got to go read. Go grab your copy. I Am Abraham, My Story, My Truth, and My Redemption. You can grab your copy over at keytolife.com. Yes, there's other places you can get it too, but you'll definitely be helping if you go to keytolife.com and grab your copy of I Am Abraham. Listen, Abraham, I am so grateful for you. Thank you for trusting me and Key to Life with your story to get it out to the masses. Thank you for joining me today. I truly have enjoyed you. But for now, we have to keep the party rolling because we have a whole line of authors that are still waiting for their turn to sit down to get to know you. You get to know them. So what we're going to do is take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be talking to Miss Alaina Hunt. This is Pen the Writer's Utopia, baby, here on You Broadcast Media.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope I did well.
You did.
Looking for the best auto detailing and ceramic coating services in Brandywine, Maryland, and surrounding cities? Look no further than Sea Turtle Auto Detailing, the premier mobile detailing service. Don't have time to bring your car in to get detailed? No problem. We come to you. Our expert technicians will give your car a spa treatment wherever it's parked. We bring you convenience, whether it's at work, at home, or anywhere in between. Using only the best eco-friendly products and state-of-the-art equipment, we'll have your car looking and feeling like new again in no time. So why wait? Contact Sea Turtle Auto Detailing today and get your car the TLC it deserves. Sea Turtle Auto Detailing. We come to you.
Welcome back to Pin the Writer's Utopia here on You Broadcast Media. Listen, I'm super excited. Did you guys enjoy Abraham? He is one of my favorite people and has a very amazing story. That was just the surface. That didn't even touch. That didn't even touch the amount. What's the word I'm looking for? Come on here, y'all know what I'm talking about. It didn't touch the bottom of the iceberg. There's so much more of it that's there. But if you haven't done so, make sure you go over and support him at keytolife.com. But I have a special treat for you with my next guest. So I do apologize because I told you it was going to be Alaina, but we have a different guest that's coming on with us that you should be just as excited about. Why should you be excited about her? I'm going to tell you why. Because in a few short days, her book will be releasing. It is called Thriving Through Life's Transitions. And listen, it is an amazing story as she talks about her life and how she managed to survive through various transitions. And I'm excited to work with her, and it has been such a journey. Please help me welcome to the screen Miss Patricia Bell. Hi, Miss Patricia.
Hi, Miss T.
How you doing, baby?
Oh, I'm excited.
You should be.
I'm excited along with you.
Yes, listen, it's been a little while coming, and I'm so excited for you. I'm telling you guys, Miss Patricia, she's the sweetest person to work with. I have enjoyed our time together. She ministers, she prays for me. It's times when I'm sitting somewhere and she's like, hey, Miss T, I'm thinking of you. She'll send me an encouraging word. I just love me some Miss Patricia. So, Miss Patricia, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm a retired chaplain. I worked at the VA Medical Center in Baltimore and Prairie Point for like 17 and a half years. I'm also a professional counselor and alcohol and drug counselor, and also an ordained minister. And presently, I volunteer at the Charles Regional Medical Center in La Plata as a volunteer chaplain.
Awesome sauce.
And I'm a first-time author coming up.
Yes, you are. Ah, that's so exciting, right?
Yeah.
So, Miss Patricia, tell us a little bit about what inspired you to write Thriving Through Transitions.
Okay, first of all, I wanted to write a book for a long time. I had been talking about it for years and years, but when it came up to this time, I guess it was about maybe a year and a half ago, it's like I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, you need to write your book. You need to tell the world about your story, what you've been through, how you thrive through the transitions of your life, every part of your life. It would help a lot of people in the world today.
Awesome sauce. So it sounds to me like you were just being obedient. Anybody else catching that theme tonight? Being obedient. Listen, obedience brings some rewards. It brings a little bit of challenges sometimes when you're obedient, because as Abraham says, sometimes when you go to be obedient, you don't realize how much you got to go through to get it done. But in the end, there's such a reward. And Miss Patricia is about to experience just that. So Miss Patricia, with Thriving Through Transitions, tell us a little bit about the book itself. What are some of the things that you're hoping your readers will walk away with?
Well, first of all, I hope in my book I wrote about how I thrived through many danger, toils, and snails, about how everything that I have gone through brought about a lot of emotions in my life, like rejection, abandonment, depression. And I went through loss of loved ones, divorce, and rape. And I've learned how to persevere with prayer and seeking the Lord and fasting and praying. That's how I got through a lot of things that were going on in my life. And most of all, it was being obedient to the Lord and doing what He would tell me to do in those seasons. So,
won't that keep you out of trouble right there? Being obedient keeps you out of trouble.
Being obedient will keep me out of trouble, even though a lot of people didn't understand. But I still had to obey God. Obedience is better than sacrifice.
Absolutely. Listen, doing this publishing company, being obedient and starting this publishing company taught me that, honey. Like sometimes I'm not gonna tell no lies. You know, when y'all gives you a word, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all gives you a word and you're like, yes, because you think the reward is gonna be right there when that thing starts to happen. You're like, okay, great. I'm gonna go do this and then boom, everything is gonna be perfect. But no, you go and you start a whole new journey because so many things have to be brought out of us, right? Like going through the process of obedience, you begin to lose some of the things that were hindering you and some of the things that were preventing you from really walking where y'all would have you to walk. So I would say obedience is not the start of your reward, in a sense it is, but it's more so the start of your journey of you becoming who y'all created you to be, to do what he's created you to do. Would you agree, Miss Patricia?
Yes, I agree with that.
Yes. So listen, your book is coming up. It's going to be released on April the 4th. For those of you who want to get a jump on the line, right? And you want to go get your copy, which she will be signing. Any books that's ordered now during the pre-ordering, they will be signed copies delivered to you. You can go on over to www.ketalife.com and grab Miss Patricia's, pre-order your book, your copy of Miss Patricia's book, Thriving Through Life's Transitions, which will be released on April the 4th. I'm so excited for you, Miss Patricia. So excited for you.
I am too. I'm so excited.
And thank you so much for taking the time out on your vacation to join me. Listen, I'm not even going to hold you any longer. I'm going to let you go back and enjoy your vacation. But thank you for joining us tonight. I'm super excited for you. Make sure, again, you go on over to ketalife.com to get your pre-ordered signed copy of Thriving Through Life's Transitions. All right? All right, Miss Patricia, I'm going to see you later. But
all right,
we're going to take this quick break, y'all. Make sure you go get your snack, get you some water. I'm going to get me some water. And come on right back, because when we come back, I promise you this time you're going to see Alaina, all right? All right, this is Penn, the Writer's Utopia, baby, here on U Broadcast Media. Welcome back to Penn, the Writer's Utopia. This is our special edition where we are featuring the beloved authors of Key to Life Publishing. Let me tell you, have you guys checked out my beautiful earrings? Y'all see that? Aren't these beautiful, guys? Yes. And then I know it's a little hidden, but then check out my little bracelets. This is all courtesy of one of our sponsors. I know, let me see if you can see it this way. This is all courtesy of one of our sponsors, Miss from the Savvy Cheek Jewelry. I want to make sure I'm post her information on our social media channels, and we want to make sure you guys go and support her. But I love this bracelet. This bracelet says, listen, James 1:17, every good and every perfect gift, listen, comes from above, right? Isn't that what we're talking about tonight? That gift of being obedient, that gift of being able to go before y'all and pray and get direction on what you're supposed to be doing. I'm dropping some gems to y'all tonight. Listen, if you ain't caught it yet, if you're supposed to be writing a book, okay? If y'all has spoken to you and told you that you are to write a book, it doesn't matter whether or not you know how to write. As my guests tonight have shared, just the two that have come on already, the theme tonight is just being obedient. I didn't even plan that. Listen, I didn't plan it, but it's the truth. When you be obedient, when you're given a command, the reward is so great. It's a journey, yes, but he didn't ask you to be perfect. He didn't ask you to know how to do everything. He told you to go do. So if you start walking and you start moving in the direction of what he's called you to do, I promise you, he's going to lay out before you the rest of the directions along the way. Sometimes you don't need to know every twist and turn that's going to be there, because half of y'all, including myself, might turn around and go the opposite direction. That's right. So sometimes you simply need to just walk. Just get started. Abraham told us he started by simply writing. He didn't know what to write. He just started writing whatever came to him. There you have it. Just start the process. Miss Patricia said she was told she needed to write a book, so she just wanted to be obedient and tell her story. Now, baby, we're going to see if this theme continues with our next guest. I absolutely love this next guest. Yes, you hear me say that about just about everybody that came on here. You know why? Because these are some of my favorite people. Not because they trusted me to publish their books, but baby, because they are some amazing people that you ought to want to get to know too through their books and their stories, all right? But this one that's coming up right now, she is such a wonderful sweetheart, and I can't wait for you to get to know her. Please help me welcome Miss Alaina Hunt. Hey, Alaina.
Hi.
Listen, I was so busy running my mouth, I forgot to tell everybody what your book is. She's the author of Love Letters to God, which is a 30-day journey through strengthening and building your relationship with God. Listen, we got a lot to talk about with this book, don't we, Lena?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Let's start by share with our audience a little bit about you.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Alaina Hunt. I am originally from a small town called Goose Creek, South Carolina. It's just north of Charleston, South Carolina. And the military brought me here to the DMV area, where I am married to my wonderful husband, Maurice Hunt, and we've been married for 20 years. And we have 4 beautiful children, and we are very, very active in our church. And so I just am just grateful and just thank God for just this opportunity to share and the opportunity to be obedient.
Yeah.
To be his call. Thank you.
Yes. Look, I think we're twinning a little bit. Look at the earrings. I think we're twinning a little bit, baby.
Yes.
Great minds think alike. Great minds think alike. So, Love Letters to God. What a title. What a title.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. You want me to tell everybody what you thought you were going to write? Because, see, she came with her idea of what she thought she was supposed to write. But when it was all said and done, y'all took what she started with and he flipped it and gave her something totally different. What did you think you were going to write when you first started, Alaina?
Well, when I first started, I already had some, some put some of the manuscript, if you will, my own thinking of what I was going to do. I thought I was going to do like an agenda book, you know, calendars and agenda book and things like that. And when I met with Lynn, I'm telling you, God just changed the whole thing. And the beginning things that I wrote, it's still sitting off to the side, and a brand new. It was just fresh. It was, you know, structured, and I just heard from God, and I just penned exactly what He would have me to say. And the product came up with Love Letters to God, and it's just me expressing my love to God for the wonderful things that He's done. And I wrote it during the pandemic, and we know we all had a lot of time,
yes.
and I was able to still myself to be able to hear from Him. And then this is the product that came out, Love Letters to God.
Man, and it's so powerful, guys, because literally she's right. When she first came with what she thought she was going to do, I was reading it and I said, this does not sound like an agenda book. I was like, you sure? And then as we got into our planning and creativity, I was like, this is definitely not an agenda book. The stuff you have here, like literally, you're professing your love for y'all. You're professing your love. And I was like, there's no way this is going to be just somebody's calendar. Not that people don't need encouragement on their calendar, right? But I was like, this is so much more. So we prayed on it, and here it is as the devotional, and you have some great stuff in it. So listen, in Love Letters to God, not only does she take the time to profess her love to God, but she also takes time to give you things to think on, things to meditate on, a place for you to journal your thoughts a little bit, and then she gives you prayers to go along with it. She gives you the whole shebang, baby, not just the devotional, something for you to think on. She gives you literally some action items to take each and every day. It is such a powerful, powerful book. Now, with Love Letters to God, what is your hope that the readers would get from this book?
Well, with the love letters, after you pen everything in yourself with the journaling, I also give the supporting scripture of what was written. And after that, it's just really just for you to fall in love with God all over again, for you to understand His grace and His mercy and how He has blessed us to be able to live. And so it is just trying to build your relationship so that you can go stronger in Him. We have so many distractions and so many devices and so many things. And, you know, sometimes it's hard or we forget how to just pick up a pen and just write a letter. And so what this Love Letters to God is just encouraging the reader to just take your time and just write out a letter to Him, just to tell Him how much you appreciate Him and all the things that He's done for you. So that's pretty much what it is. It's kind of like if you haven't had a one-on-one with God, or you don't know exactly how, it's kind of like a step-by-step guide so that you can know what to do and how to do. And then you see what I've done, and then you mimic that, but in your own way, by writing your own love letter. So that's pretty much what it is.
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Listen, if you haven't already gotten your copy, then make sure you go. Come on, y'all. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Make sure you go on over to keytolife.com and grab your copy of Love Letters to God. It is an amazing book, and she definitely takes you on a journey and gives you some great things to think about just in your relationship with Yah, and how we sometimes take for granted that relationship, and different perspectives of how to look at life. And so I enjoyed the book, and I hope you do too. So make sure you go on over again to keytolife.com, grab you a copy of Love Letters to God. So I'm gonna give you this option. Well, I'm gonna give you this opportunity. Give me one nugget of wisdom that you would love to leave our audience with tonight.
Well, one nugget I just want to leave with you all is never give up on God. in this world, everything is just going haywire, but always keep your focus on God. If you keep your focus on God and if you tune out everything else, you will be okay. But once we start taking our focus off of God and looking at the things around us, we will begin to sink. So if we just continue to stay focused on Him, continue to love on Him, continue to stay in His Word, and continue to draw closer to Him, He will make sure, because He promised us that He will make sure that we will be okay. So just continue to just seek Him above everything else. Those are my little nuggets.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. All right, Alaina. Well, I thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us. I hope our audience has enjoyed you. Again, make sure you guys go on over to keytolife.com to check out Love Letters to God. Grab you a copy. I'm telling you, it's going to bless your life. It's going to bless your life. Listen, but we have to take a quick break. But go and get your snack. I'm going to grab me some water, and I'll see you on the other side of this break. This is Pen the Writer's Utopia here on U Broadcast Media.
Adventure in the mountains, or a train trip across the country, a tour of the Greek Isles, or sailing the seas. Elegant 3 Travel will get you there.
Hello, my name is Ashanti Lester, and I am your next real estate agent with Remax Elegance, located in Brandywine, Maryland. With 0% luck and 100% hustle, we are here to support you as your ambassador and to guide you on your next journey to find your dream home. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or just looking for an investment property, we are expert realtors who can turn your wants into a reality. So welcome home.
to pen the writer's Utopia. We are continuing on with our special edition where we are featuring the authors of Key to Life Publishing. It has been an amazing evening so far. I hope you've been enjoying yourself. And I hope you're going on over to the website to grab a copy of the books that you're hearing about. But listen, the party still continues, right? This next author, y'all know what I'm about to say. What I'm gonna say, y'all, is my favorite person. Listen, she's one of my favorite people. She is the author of Shades of Blue. And baby, does Blue have some shades, okay? It is none other than Miss A.M. Morning. Hi, love.
Hey.
How you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm so blessed. I feel so blessed to be in a room with all these wonderful people telling their stories, and I just feel empowered.
Listen, I'm telling you, you've written an empowering story too.
Thank you.
So listen, tell the folks a little bit about who Miss A.M. Morning is, because you are diversified, baby.
Honey, yes I am. A.M. Morning, that's one of my aliases. Government name is Althea McFarland, hence where we got the A.M. Morning from.
Yeah.
Stage name, I'm a stand-up comedian. I do a podcast 5 days a week called The Morning Mac Show.
Yes.
And like everybody else, I was running from God, running from being obedient, till he sat me down, all the way down. That's why I walk with a cane today, but I'm thankful.
Yeah.
I am thankful.
I was about to say, yes, because you're still here, right?
No, I'm thankful because I'm still here and able to share my message with other people so they can get delivered. Not that he delivered me through my journey, but what I can offer other people so they can get on the road.
Yeah.
You know, everybody don't like to tell what got us here, but in Shades of Blue, honey, Blue is a character that anybody can encompass, okay? Everybody could be blue. Everybody is blue, as a matter of fact. You apply it to yourself. And it's just about, how do we get here? How do we get to where he said, I'm gonna use you? How do we even go on that path? A lot of people don't like to talk about what they went through. They just like to say, I'm a Christian now, hear me roar, or whatever. But it's not for the people that come with me on the journey, because you with me on the journey. It's for the people to come, and that's coming, because they need to help our future.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry. That's how I feel.
What you apologizing for? Listen, no, that is so good. And so for those of you that don't know, Shades of Blue is a novel, right? But I always say there's truth in fiction. All novels, all fiction is inspired by something that happened in real life. No matter how many ways you turn it, it's inspired by things that happen in real life. And with Blue had some blues, baby. That's what I'm gonna say. Blue had some blues. You like I keep going with them blues. I know, but you gotta read the book to understand. She started off, you know, she's like coming of age, and what's great about it is this is the first installment for Blue. The first installment. And Blue starts off with a whole bunch of different challenges that many of us have faced in our youth. Many of us have faced it. And so I love how you journey her on, and how each installment that is to come will show us a different aspect of her life. Mm-hmm. So for you, what does Blue stand for you? Like what was your hope, or what inspired you to write about Blue?
Well, I was laying in my sick bed. A lot of y'all don't know this. I wasn't going to say this. I wasn't going to talk about my journey. I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm here because God blessed me and said, yeah, you are supposed to be here. they told my parents that I wasn't gonna make it a few years ago. Oh, she's gone, she's dead. I caught something called necrotizing fasciitis, flesh-eating bacteria, what those people don't understand. Underwent over 7 surgeries, hyperbaric chamber treatment, wound vac. They just said the bacteria ruined her eyes, her heart, and her kidneys. All this, organ shut down with the bacteria getting in your body, and it does. That's when me and God had a conversation in and out of me and going into consciousness. I didn't know how sick I was. I woke up and there was a priest in my room because the nurse had sent them in there. And I was like, what you doing here? He was like, can I pray over you? I said, oh, no. Me and God didn't have that conversation. Bye.
You're like, it's not my time, it's not my time.
He didn't say that. He didn't, And so he allowed me to recover, heal quicker than they thought. I spent 6 months, 28 days in the ICU, almost 6 months in the nursing home. Okay, got through that ordeal. 2000, I was 14 and 15. 2017, came back, caught Mercer. Okay, got part of my left foot amputated. It's okay, it's okay. And I was sitting down crying because I had just started a business. Everything was going lucratively well. The comedy was just taking off. Money was coming. I thought I was going to the next level.
Right.
Okay? God was like, let me talk to you for a second. This ain't where you want. Exactly.
Let us reason together.
And he sat me down. And I'm sitting there crying, and I thought my life was worthless. I said, I have nothing to give my children. My son only had the one, and my family, because I used to be the one that, everybody could come to, whatever. I felt like a drag on life, and I didn't want to live. And my rehabilitation coordinator, she said, why are you sitting here crying? Because I thought about I'm going to take all this medicine. They ain't going to know, and I'm just going to go out peacefully and quietly. She said, why are you crying? I said, because I feel like my value of life has changed, that I have nothing to give my friends and family, which I love so much. And she was like, you still you, aren't you? She said, all those stories, everything you've been through, she said, write about it. She said, you hilarious. She said, you write about that journey. And I prayed, and I prayed, and he was like, if you don't stop crying and get your butt up. Now, I'm crying because I have what they call low vision. I can't see out of one eye. My son teased me all the time. He said, how you gonna be a blind author? You can't see. How you gonna write books and you can't see? But that has not stopped me.
Nope.
As you know. And when I met this lady here, it's like she spoke to my soul. It's like we knew each other forever. Little did we know we grew up in the same neighborhood. Yeah. I'm just a few years older, but we did grow up together. But I felt like I'd known her forever. And she was like, this is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do. I bought her a finished manuscript. I had it finished for her. And she was like, if you don't change this, we had to change the title.
We did. We definitely had to change the title. We're not going to say what that title was, but just know that it was y'all's will that the name of that book be changed.
Yeah.
We couldn't have got 5 volumes out of that title. Did I say 5? There are 5 books to this Shades of Blue. There are 5 volumes to it. This is one. It's about resilience. It's about not giving up. It's about when the world has turned their back on you and say that you don't matter, God says you matter. Because he's the one that died for you. He thought enough for me to die for me. And here I am, didn't even want to live for myself. Oh, wow. Didn't even want to live for me, but he thought enough. Mm-hmm. So everything got scrambled up. And it's a different day now. I feel differently. I feel that he showed me grace and mercy and the road of understanding and wisdom. She taught me so much wisdom. She was telling me, say this prayer, and how to look up this and look up that. And I'm the type that I don't believe nothing nobody say. I like to do my own research. So as you should.
You should. So she tell me, and I go back, yeah, that is his name. Yeah, she right. They didn't have, yeah, sure, yeah. That. And I was even learning his rock with dog. She had me saying I was like, yeah, she okay. She right about that. That's me.
Basically, we have Bible studies sometimes, y'all.
A lot of times you can get in the process, and we had hurdles too, and emotional hurdles, spiritual hurdles, where people dropped off like flies from my life. So I'm like, don't walk out, run. Just run out my life. Don't walk out my life, run, because she taught me that sometimes they're not leaving me, he's removing them from me. So, and I'm just thankful, and that's an awesome book. I ain't saying it because I wrote it, because I didn't even remember what I wrote till somebody was reading it to me. I was like, I said that. I wrote that. Have you?
Listen, for the people that's in the building that read the book, because there's a couple y'all in here that's done read the book. Me and her had it out. Matter of fact, when I finished reading the draft manuscript, I called her fussing. I said, you ain't gonna end this book like this. Did I not? I was like, you're not gonna end this book like this. She said, but T, there's another volume coming. It's okay. I was like, no, you can't end it like this. But I gave in because there's another one coming. But wasn't you mad when you got to the end? Those of you that's watching, wasn't you mad when you got to the end? You was like, why she leave me like this? Now, when the next one coming?
The next one is coming, hopefully by the end of this year or the beginning of the new next year.
We're gonna hold her accountable, because when you read that book, you gonna be called. Don't call my phone. I'm gonna tell you, don't call my phone. Don't send Key to Life no emails, because I already know. But what I will say is, you are more than welcome to go to the Key to Life Facebook page and be like, yo, AM morning, where's the second volume at?
They already fussing at me. They was wanted to. It's almost finished. I told everybody.
You see how I'm still giving you the serious face?
Look, it was finished. People were saying, give it to me now. People like you saying, give me the next book so I can read ahead. You remember you saying that? Give it to me. No, I can't give it to you now.
But I got permission to do that, though, because I'm your publisher.
It's not fair.
It wasn't fair. Right. It is.
Y'all gonna be mad at all 5 volumes then. It's just.
You got me rolling my eyes on my own show. She won't be old. You'll understand when you read the book. So make sure you go on over. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Go on over to www.keytolife.com, baby, and get you a copy of Shades of Blue. What's the next title?
It's called Indigo, a Much Deeper Blue. So, and y'all know what that means. You know, it's period of pieces. The first book takes you from the beginning to the adolescent stage. The second one is a bunch of blue. It's a character, right? That's why I say it could be male or female. You can apply to anybody who just travels the road. Sometimes she listens, sometimes she don't listen. And she gets in these predicaments that sometimes it's her fault, but sometimes it's not. And it's life. You know, it's real life stuff and how you deal with it. So.
See, you wasn't looking at me, but you know I'm about to say. Now, how much of the sometimes you listen, sometimes you don't, did you inspire in Blue?
I was a hard-headed child. I was one of the. It's a lot. It's a lot of me in Blue. It's a lot. It's a lot of all y'all in here in Blue.
Oh, you
Blue. He in the 2. That was you too. All of y'all was in here. I wasn't the only Blue.
You see how you try to push it all about everybody else? I asked you about you.
But it's a part of everybody else.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, AM Morning, I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. You always keep us laughing. And even though you can't see that great, Tyree, she's still a great author. There are things that she can do to dictate her book. Message. That was for all the people that's like, I don't know how to write. I don't have time to write. But you got time to pick up your phone and record, because you know your phone in your hand anyway. You got time to pick up your phone, hit the little record button, and start recording your thoughts. Then you can later get them transcribed. There are some apps that'll even transcribe it for you while you're recording. I'm debunking all of your myths and all of your excuses. Just saying. Somebody's waiting on your story. Someone's waiting on your story. Listen, all the stories we've heard this far, all of the authors that we've talked to, the running theme is, one, they got a word that they wasn't obedient to for whatever reason, right? But two, they ended up being obedient and following the path, because at the end of the day, and I've heard several of them say this, which is facts, it's not about you. It's not about you. There is literally someone waiting on you. I know this wasn't part of what I was going to talk about tonight, but this is what we do. This is what me and y'all do. He give me stuff, and I say, yes, sir. I'm going to say what you tell me to say. And tonight I need you to know, just like me and Key to Life Publishing, what would have happened to Althea? What would have happened to Abraham? What would have happened to Alaina had I not been obedient? Because recognizing the real me, that was a great book that I wrote, but y'all told me in the very beginning that that book, it wasn't about it being a bestseller, it was a key. It was the key to me getting where I needed to be, where he wanted me to be. Me writing that book led me to then go to the next person and say, hey, I'm ready to write my second book. I met a publisher, y'all, and I said, hey, I'm ready to write my second book, and I would love for you to publish it. And she flat out looked at me and said, no, I'm not publishing your book. So immediately I'm like, wait a minute, I'm being rejected? I'm being rejected? She said, no, I'm not rejecting you, but I'm going to teach you how to open up and start your own publishing company. That's what she did. And when her time was up, guess what? Y'all removed her, and here we are today. Had I not written the book, then I wouldn't have been in place to start Key to Life Publishing, and I wouldn't have been in place for people like Alaina and AM Morning and Abraham and Miss Patricia and so many others, Wanda and Tammarrah, those that are still coming up for you to meet. So I'm telling you, who's waiting on your story? Someone's waiting on your obedience. It's not about you. It's about what Yah has purposed for what's in your belly. All you have to do is start walking. Start your process of being obedient. He'll lay out the rest. There's no excuse anymore. It's no excuse. I don't have any excuses. You got any excuses?
There's no excuse.
Okay. So now that we're out of excuses, we're going to go ahead and say thank you so much, AM Morning, for joining us today. You are beautiful. You are so beautiful, and I'm so glad that y'all came in there and told you your time ain't up, because somebody needed you. That story of Blue and all that's coming behind in the next volumes, somebody needs that. They didn't need the bad words you said in the beginning. I knew you'd get a kick out of that. But they needed her story. Somebody's living that right now, and I'm so glad you had the courage to get up out that bed and say, not yet. I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be here to be obedient. So those of you that read her story and you're blessed, make sure you send her a shout out and say thank you. Thank you. Wait a minute. Hold on. Thank you. That's not just to you, that's to Yah. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, y'all gonna be y'all. Y'all, I don't know what y'all about to get. We at this point where you might end up in worship in here. That's okay.
That's
but
always,
thank you.
Always good.
It's always good.
That's how we always end up on the phone for 5 hours.
For
6
5 hours.
days.
She called me. She don't know how to get off the phone. Look, I left her speechless. But anyway, I love you. I thank you for trusting me and trusting Key to Life Publishing with your story. I'm so glad you're still here. And with that, we're going to take a quick break so we can gather ourselves, and we'll be right back on the other side of this quick break. This is Pen the Writer's Utopia, baby, here on U Broadcast Media.
Whether it's a snow adventure in the mountains or a train trip across the country, a tour of the Greek Isles, or sailing the seas, Elegant 3 Travel will get you there.
Hello, my name is Ashanti Lester, and I am your next real estate agent with Remax Elegance, located in Brandywine, Maryland. With 0% luck and 100% hustle, we are here to support you as your ambassador and to guide you on your next journey to find your dream home. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or just looking for an investment property, we are expert realtors who can turn your wants into a reality. So welcome home.
Welcome back to Pen the Writer's Utopia. We're still moving forward with our special edition where we are featuring the authors of Key to Life Publishing. Listen, This is a month of celebration for us. We're celebrating National Reading Month. We're celebrating National Women's History Month. We're celebrating my birthday, and we're celebrating the birthday of Key to Life Publishing. So we don't want to hold up the party because it has been so amazing thus far, talking with all of our authors. I hope that you're enjoying it as well. But I have another fantastic author in the building with me, and y'all know what I'm going to say. She one of my favorite people. Listen, it is none other than Avis Willis, the author of From Pain to Gain. Hi, Avis.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great, and you?
Good.
Awesome.
Listen, I left off the little, the tag of your book, The Life of a Little Jamaican Girl from St. Andrew. Listen, that I had to let y'all know because you about to hear her beautiful accent. How you doing, baby girl?
I'm doing great, thank God.
Yes.
Yes.
So it has been, what, almost a year now. Has it been a year yet?
It's over a year.
Over a year.
Yes.
And From Pain to Gain is still going.
Absolutely.
That is so amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the little girl from St. Andrew, Miss Avis Willis.
Sure. So I'm originally from Jamaica. I came to the States when I was 13 years old and went to high school in Bronx, New York. And from there, went to college in Niagara Falls, New York. Then to Howard University. But growing up in Jamaica, it's just a very rich culture where I've learned to just, whatever is presented before us, and make it work. Yeah. I remember with a little, I didn't have a doll, so I used a mango seed, and that's how that was my doll. And all like cornrow is a thing we put in our hair. I learned the cornrow from the grass.
Yeah.
So my story is about, just the experiences I had from Jamaica until this point.
Listen, one of the things that I absolutely loved about your book was, as I read it, first of all, you are such a great writer. I got to give it to you, because when I was reading your book, your manuscript, I literally felt like I was in Jamaica. Like I could smell the food cooking when you talked about your mom in the kitchen. And I could visualize just different scenes from you going to school and being in the house with your siblings. And oh my goodness, you sharing the time that you guys managed to live through a hurricane and losing pretty much your house, like being destroyed basically and damaged really bad. To like, your words literally made me feel like I was there. I could hear the rain and the water rising and the rain hitting the tin roof, and man, I was like, I feel like I'm in Jamaica. Yeah. It was such great writing. I really, really, really enjoyed it. And you're right, it is such a rich culture. It is. It's something that, in reading it, you had very humble beginnings, but each thing that you went through, even from your mango seed doll, like it teaches you to appreciate the things that you have and to make use, message, of what's in your hand. It's not about what you don't have, it's what's in your hand. That's right. And literally, you used what was in your hands, and I absolutely loved your story.
Thank you so
man.
Much.
Yeah. So what brought you to writing your story? What was it that made you say, hey, I need to tell my story?
Well, leading up to me writing my book, I went through a lot of turmoils. I was homeless a couple of times with 4 children and my late husband. And during the time of me thinking about writing a book, I did not know that my book was going to end up being published. So what happened was, once my husband passed away, I said, as a matter of fact, years before that, my husband said, you know what, you need to tell the world a story, because I undergo 7 surgeries in 1 year for breast cancer. And he said to me, you need to tell the world a story. So he had a notebook where he started to write 1 page. So once he passed away, I found the book and I began to write. So I began to write because writing was therapeutic for me. Yeah. That's where I was able to get a lot of healing.
Yeah.
Because after being homeless for 3-4 times, undergoing surgery, had a baby that was born with 3 missing ribs, a hole in his heart. Within 1 month, God closed it up without surgery. He was one years old and weighing 10 pounds. My husband was like, these are stories that the world need to hear. Yeah. And just the fact that we were homeless and stayed in the hotel, and it was just severe. And I had to come to a place where, okay, Avis, you're homeless, but you cannot stay in that place of homelessness. Yeah. So I became aggressive. And thank God for my late husband. He said to me, you need to tell the world a story. So in less than a few months after he passed away, I began to write.
Yes, you did.
And I'm telling you, it was like carrying a baby. It was.
That's actually what we call her book, The Big Baby. Her baby is noted as Big Baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it was definitely a birthing that took place.
Absolutely.
Because you wrote the book literally while mourning and celebrating the life of your late husband.
That is correct.
And you got it done.
Yes.
Yeah. It's phenomenal. Like, it's a phenomenal story. And I know it looks like, oh, a little girl from Jamaica. No, it's way more than that, honey. Yeah. It really tells her story of survival and pressing forward when all odds seem to be against you. All odds. There were so many times in reading your story that you should have given up. An average person would have thought of giving up, but you didn't. You kept pressing. And I'm telling you, I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. You see how even though it's been some time, I'm still in that book. Listen, because it was just that amazing.
Yes, ma'am.
So my question to you is, for those that are watching, what nugget of wisdom, what nugget of wisdom would you like to leave with them in terms of writing their story?
Okay. In terms of writing a story, it's imperative that you do it, because someone needs to hear your story. You may think a story is not going to impact someone, but yes, it will impact someone. Not only that, through it all, I must give God glory. To God be all the glory. I've learned to trust God for everything. You know, when my husband became sick, because he became sick in the midst of everything, I've learned to just be this aggressive person that no matter how rough it is, I have to keep going. So what am I saying to us today? That it's important that you dust off yourself, get up and go and do what you have to do so you can be a better person. And not only that, I've learned to love myself. I learned to respect myself. I learned to invest in myself. And did it come overnight? No, it did not come overnight. Even those of you who are thinking about writing a story, I'm telling you, if it's even one person, for me, it's not about money. For me, I just want people to realize that God, there's still hope. You can make it. If you trust God, God will bring you out as pure gold.
I like that nugget. That's a good one. Well, listen, I thank you so much for sticking around and for being here to celebrate with us today. You already know. Where can you get her book? I would ask the audience, because they know by now. Listen, they said it. I'm gonna need y'all to say it more lively now. There you go. Go on over to keytolife.com. Grab you a copy of From Pain to Gain, the life of a little Jamaican girl from St. Andrew. I promise you, it's gonna bless your life. Each one of these people, each one of these books I'm sending you to, part of it sounds like they have the same story, but trust me when I say they do not. There are very intricate details that I promise will bless your life. You'll find the one that you need to inspire you. Go on over to keytolife.com. Make sure you take advantage of our celebration sale and grab you a copy today. Thank you so much, Avis, for joining me. I really appreciate you, and I love you so much.
I love you, and thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. All right, guys, grab you a quick snack, a quick drink, and come right back, because we still have a few more authors that we want to feature as we go forward. This is Pen the Writer's Utopia here on U Broadcast Media. Can't run away just yet now.
Whether it's a snow adventure in the mountains or a train trip across the country, a tour of the Greek Isles, or sailing the seas, Elegant 3 Travel will get you there.
Hello, my name is Ashanti Lester, and I am your next real estate agent with Remax Elegance, located in Brandywine, Maryland. With 0% luck and 100% hustle, we are here to support you as your ambassador and to guide you on your next journey to find your dream home. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or just looking for an investment property, we are expert realtors who can turn your wants into a reality. So welcome home.
Welcome back to Pen the Writer's Utopia. Listen, we have had an amazing show thus far, and we're still going. I have a great surprise for you. So listen, we have been featuring our authors that are published. But what I didn't tell you is there's a couple that I slid in whose books are going to be coming out in the next couple of months. And we wanted to give you a little teaser. So this one coming up is one of our treats that we're giving you. You get a quick preview of what's to come, and that is the book Beyond the First 48. Listen, this is an amazing book all in itself, but I want you to meet the amazing author who wrote it so that you can have your eye out as you look forward over the coming months. So please help me welcome Shawn Wright. Hi, Shawn.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing wonderful.
Awesome, awesome. Welcome to Pen the Writer's Utopia. Now, we're giving everyone a sneak preview of Beyond the First 48, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind the book.
I wrote this book because it's about my son, Christopher. 6 years ago, Christopher was walking home from work and Chris was shot 8 times in the streets of Columbia late at night. So as a mother, not wanting to be a part of this crazy, this club, but I wrote this book because it's not being known beyond after when a child or a loved one is shot regarding gun violence. My son was an innocent bystander, and he was walking home from work, and when he got shot, the first person he called was his best friend. So the book is about our journey as mother and son, and also as a family with the milestones and setbacks regarding this journey, hard journey that we had to go through.
Yes. Which hint is the inspiration behind the title? Because we always see on the news the first 48, right? They always say the first 48 hours is crucial. It's crucial when a person is missing. It's crucial when they're trying to solve a crime, but it's also crucial when you have a loved one that's trying to recover from gun violence. You know, those first 48 hours can be very touch and go. And so I love that you went with the title Beyond the First 48, because we're literally looking what happens after those first 48 hours when you survive. Like, now people get a glimpse, and I love that you're sharing Chris's story, because now we get a glimpse of what that looks like and what your journey was, traveling the road of his recovery and the road of them trying to find who committed the crime to begin with, who shot him. Man, it's something.
Yes, the beyond the first 48 is, it started with the doctor, because when the doctor told us that Chris had to go back to surgery because he had internal bleeding, and the first thing she said was the first 24, 48 hours is crucial for his survival of these injuries. His injuries was life-threatening. Now, we did not know he was shot 8 times. We were led to believe he was shot once. Once we got to the hospital, we found out it was 3. Then after that, we found out the next day, talking to the nurse, it was 8. So when the doctor came to us and said he was going back into surgery because he just got out of surgery, and when she came to us and said, he has internal bleeding, he's not out the woods, it doesn't look good, and it is crucial. 24, 48 hours is crucial for his survival. Not just the injuries itself, the surgeries.
Yeah.
So when she told us that, only thing I can do was cry after she left, because she was so empathetic that she just, the last thing she told us was, I'm gonna do everything in my power to save your son.
Yeah.
So after she left, I went in the bathroom and I cried. I cried because I couldn't cry anymore to God. Like, please save my son. Please, I just pleading with him till I stopped crying, because he said it's all right. He's going to be all right. So when I went back and sat down, I believed that God is going to take care of Chris. Chris is going to be all right. I just didn't know how, because it looked so dire. His survival did not look good at all. He was on death's door. And I just knew in my heart that he was going to survive this ordeal.
Yeah. So,
and we came up with the topic. Sorry, T. We came up with the topic because we couldn't come up with the topic, and that was the topic me and you thought of.
yeah,
Was because when I told you, you said that's it.
that's it. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it right there. Beyond the first 48.
Yep. So, what is it that you hope that this book will do for your readers?
I want them to understand, even though things seem dire, it seemed that it would be impossible. God has the final word. He is in control. And he was in control through this whole ordeal, the whole thing from beginning to the end. It didn't seem like Chris was going to survive. I thought I was going to call the funeral home. And God was like, no. God was with Chris the whole time. Even Chris told me God was in the room with him the whole time. He was not alone. And I felt in my heart, we were not alone. God was there with me, guiding me through the whole ordeal, guiding me to say what to ask, sit with Chris, the whole ordeal. So if you feel whatever situation that you are in, whatever situation that you are dealing with, God is in control and he has the final word.
That's a good word. That's a good word. Well, Shawn, I thank you so much for the teaser of Beyond the First 48. Now, that book is not yet available, right? It's coming.
No.
It's coming soon. So keep your eyes peeled. Make sure that you go on over to keytolife.com. Follow the website if you want to make sure that you get on the list to receive information when it is available for pre-order and purchase. Shawn, I thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you so much, T.
You're welcome. And I look forward to the book itself and seeing you again. Maybe we'll be in this setting again when it's time to launch your book. But I love you and I appreciate you. Now, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to have a quick conversation with another coming soon. This is Pen the Writer's Utopia here on U Broadcast Media.
Whether it's a snow adventure in the mountains or a train trip across the country, a tour of the Greek Isles, or sailing the seas, Elegant 3 Travel will get you there.
Hello, my name is Ashanti Lester, and I am your next real estate agent with Remax Elegance, located in Brandywine, Maryland. With 0% luck and 100% hustle, we are here to support you as your ambassador and to guide you on your next journey to find your dream home. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or just looking for an investment property, we are expert realtors who can turn your wants into a reality. So welcome home.
back to Pen the Writer's Utopia. We are keeping the party going, baby. And right now, I told you we just teased one of our next coming up books. And now we have another that we're going to tease, which is the upcoming book called Beauty for Ashes, written by none other than my girl, Nailah. Welcome, Nailah.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. Are you excited?
I am. I'm glad we're at this point. It took a while to get here, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what Beauty for Ashes is going to be about.
Beauty for Ashes is my journey to salvation. In November 2020, Spirit told me, write a book, okay? And then he said, write about your journey to salvation. When I got in touch with you and told you that that's what my book is supposed to be about, I said, do I start with the beginning, or do I start with from the time I received salvation going forward? And you said the beginning, because that's the journey to salvation.
Yes.
Yeah, and
you can't start in the middle.
No.
You just start with when you got saved. Then you're missing the whole what got you there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it was indeed a journey. And I didn't really realize all that I had gone through until I wrote the book. And like Abraham said, in my look back, that's where I saw his hand was always with me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it. And when I realized, I was like, God, you really do love me. And it took a minute to get to that point, but I'm thankful, humbled, and blessed.
Yeah, because you had some twists and turns in there.
Absolutely, you know.
Yeah, I do. You had a lot of twists and turns on your journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
But each one was a stepping stone to getting you to where you needed to be.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I would almost say it helped to create who you are today.
It did. It did indeed. It did indeed. And I at some points thought that nobody would want to hear my story, and I realized that was just the enemy trying to keep me from writing the book, because there were times when I did not feel like I wanted to write, and I just had to push through that.
Yeah.
Push through that, and I did, and I'm glad.
Yeah. I'm glad you did too.
Yes.
Somebody's gonna get a blessing out of this.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, what is the biggest takeaway that you would like the readers to get? What can they look forward to?
This book is about redemption, and they can look forward to how I came to my redemption. And my prayer is that someone will see themselves in my story and maybe even find their salvation. I'm not saying that I'm going to give them the salvation, but maybe point them the way to seeing God in all his glory.
I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. Well, Nailah, I thank you so much for journeying. Listen, I thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
And taking the journey, right?
Thank you, thank you,
yes,
thank
taking
you.
the journey to becoming an author and sharing your story. I know, listen, it's gonna be amazing. And you all know what to do. Make sure you go on over to keytolife.com. Follow us. Make sure you stay connected so that when Beauty for Ashes comes out, which will be very shortly,
yes,
you'll be able to grab you a signed copy. Well, Nailah, I thank you for joining me. I love you so much.
Love
and
you
I
too.
look forward to Beauty for Ashes. And with that, guys, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, baby, we saved one of the best for last. She's a poet, and she has some amazing, amazing words. I'm going to give her that, right? So when we come back, we'll be sitting down with Tammarrah Addison. This is Pen the Writer's Utopia, baby, here on You Broadcast Media. You look good.
Whether it's a snow adventure in the mountains or a train trip across the country, a tour of the Greek Isles, or sailing the seas, Elegant 3 Travel will get you there. Executive Staffing provides top-level staffing to federal and private sector companies at the most competitive price. We are experts in coordinating projects from design to development, and we teach others the business of federal contracting in collaboration with the Louisiana MBDA Business Center. Global Executive Staffing is the Department of Veteran Affairs, Center for Veterans Enterprise, certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business. At GES, we meet the needs of our clients on time and within budget, every time. To connect with us, go to www.gestaff.com. Executive Staffing provides top-level staffing to federal and private sector companies at the most competitive price. We are experts in coordinating projects from design to development, and we teach others the business of federal contracting in collaboration with the Louisiana MBDA Business Center. Global Executive Staffing is the Department of Veteran Affairs, Center for Veterans Enterprise, certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business. At GES, we meet the needs of our clients on time and within budget, every time. To connect with us, go to www.gestaff.com.
Welcome back to Penn the Writer's Utopia. It has been such an amazing show, guys. This was our special edition to celebrate the authors of Key to Life Publishing. Now, I have introduced you to majority of our lineup. There are still some that are not yet ready to be introduced, but they are coming very soon. However, I intentionally saved this one for last. The reason being is she's very special to me because she, just like Wanda, was one of the very first people to trust me in publishing their book. That was when Key to Life had no name, right? We were still functioning as something else at that time under our former name. And she came on board and trusted me to publish her book, and she's been rocking with me ever since. I love her so much, and she's so, so special to me. I want you guys to put your hands together and help me welcome none other than poet and educator, Miss Tammarrah Addison.
Hi. You look so good.
Oh, thank you. You look pretty too.
Thank you.
Listen, we've been on this journey together for a long time.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
We started with your book, Unbossed, Unapologetic, Poetry for the Awakened Woman.
Yes, we did.
What an amazing, amazing book. It's so filled with such inspiration.
Yes, it is.
And you've grown as a poet since then.
I have. I really have. Yeah.
Even your volumes. So what we did originally was you had your album out, and we took your album and then we converted it to a book.
Yes, we did.
So they got the best of both worlds. Your album functions as the audio book, and your book gives them the volume. And then check this out, y'all. She's so special to me. We decided to make it old school. We made it a pocket-size poetry book. So it's not big like the rest of them. It's something about this big, yay big, so that you can be able to take it. Oh, you see it over there on the screen. You'll be able to take it, put it in your purse, and carry it with you to be encouraged on the go. Yeah. So tell everybody, because I just got talking about just how amazing you are. Tell everybody why you're so amazing. What is it that you do, Miss Tammarrah? Who are you?
First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate that. First of all, I'm one of God's children.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, so let's just recognize that first off of that. I'm just a human walking this journey. I come from a small town, like one of your other authors, but my town had 395 people, okay? Well, now that I'm gone, 393, but who's counting? And I always knew that I wanted something bigger.
Yeah.
And even in my town, they knew I was loud, I'm an Aries, you know, even my name, Tammarrah, means palm tree. I bend, but I don't break. So with that, having that name, I knew that I wanted to go off and do something with my name and with this life that I've been given. And I did. I ended up going into the United States Navy. I ended up going to school for theater and drama. And all that has really played into who I am. I am a mother, I'm a friend, I'm an educator. But most of all, I'm this human living this life just as everyone else. But as the other authors have stated, I also have a story.
Yeah, you do.
And my story came out almost like other people, where I just felt like that wheel of death that's on that computer. Like it's just spinning and spinning, and I just didn't feel like, what am I going to do? And I had options. I could unplug it and try to start over, or I could just wait. I didn't know really what to do in poetry. Poetry became that catalyst to say, you can do whatever you want, just use this modality and you'll be able to go what you want to do. So my journey is just that, from small town to, you know, college and all that.
Yeah.
But it all came out through Unbossed, Unapologetic Superwoman.
There you go.
Yes.
Listen, and what I love is you inspire. You took all of that and you're inspiring women. You're like helping them to, I don't know, like you said, tap into their superpower.
Yeah, I like the way you said that, because being a superwoman has and have had a negative connotation.
Yeah.
And I don't think it has to have a negative connotation. We are all super. We're all unbossed. We can all be unapologetic. And when I say that, even being unapologetic doesn't mean that you're gonna go out and do things that you're not supposed to do, but it's saying that I have made a choice and I'm okay with that choice and I'm gonna do what I have to do.
Yeah.
So be unbossed. And me birthing Unbossed, Unapologetic Superwoman has allowed me to see me, to be me, to go on a journey.
Yeah.
It also allowed me to write things down that I wouldn't necessarily say in front of other people. That's empowering right there.
Yeah. You found your words.
I found my words. And I
your
found my
voice.
place.
Yeah.
And I found my voice. And that is the most powerful thing, because in the writer's world, especially when you're on stage, the mouth, the tongue is the most powerful thing.
Yeah, it is.
So once you're done writing, and then you speak it orally, it is so powerful. And to find my voice through spoken word, it's been everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next? Because you're all over the DMV doing poetry slams, poetry shows, and I love it because here recently you're being featured in majority of the shows you're doing.
Yeah.
So listen, you're not on nobody else's ticket. You got your own ticket, baby.
Yes.
So what's next for Miss Tammarrah Addison?
I just did my 3rd album called The Poetics of Love, Social Justice, and Empowerment.
Yeah.
And it's about coming full circle. The first book that, Unbossed, Unapologetic, was about me being hurt. So it was easy for me to write about my pain. Mm-hmm. The second was like, now that you know that you're unbossed, unapologetic, what are you gonna do? So that second album was called Temerity. And everyone knows temerity means you have the gumption to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Now, the poetics of love, social justice, and empowerment is now me stepping out and not looking at myself, me being altruistic. Now I am speaking for other people. I am saying things that other people perhaps want to say. So I'm using that as a catalyst. And I actually got to speak about love, which I usually don't write about in that album. I actually got to speak about love.
And I'm gonna plug this.
What?
Because when you're talking about love and you're doing poetry about love, but you do an amazing, like we talked about love letters to God, you do an amazing class.
Yes.
For people to write love letters.
I do. Thank you for plugging that. I do. I have a class, on my website www.tammarrahaddison.com, and people can come and I actually show them how to write love letters to themselves, because how can you ask someone, am I great? Am I beautiful if you can't say it to yourself?
Yeah.
And it's really difficult to write a love letter to yourself. Most people think, I can just get here, but then you can't find the words.
Yeah.
So I become that guide on the side, and I become that cheerleader, and I give you the affirmations that you already have to allow you to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Just like spoken word, though, it's that catalyst, it's that flow, it's that river. That just is a stream of words, and that's what I do, even in love letters. And people like it when they walk away. They're like, "This is me."
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
I'm telling you, when you first told me you were doing those classes, I said, "This is amazing," because you're right. To sit down, some people can't even sit down and say 10 good words about themselves. Like you ask somebody to make a list of the things they love about themselves.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that will struggle with that.
Yeah.
So to have them write a full-on love letter.
Yeah.
Man.
Even when people, go on interviews and they ask, tell us about yourself. Even when you come over here, tell us about yourself, we're like, what do I say?
Yeah, like a deer in the head. Like,
we should always know something about ourselves, and we don't always have to look for affirmation. I think from someone else, and that's what Unbossed, Unapologetic Superwoman says. It's like, these are all the great things about myself that I already know, and you don't have to tell me.
Exactly.
When someone says, you say less.
That part.
Yes, less was said.
Yes.
So I love that. I love empowerment, but I had to believe it myself. Mm-hmm. So before I could get on stage and try to empower someone else or try to tell them to write a love letter, I had to do this all myself.
Yeah.
I had to believe in myself. I had to sit down and have a talk with God.
Yeah.
Because I went through a lot. And it's not always bad. Like you said, my storm was not always bad.
No.
It was birthed so that I can help other people or just even help myself.
Well, what I always tell people is that, the old saying, your blues ain't like my blues.
Yes.
What I always say is, regardless of what you go through, what may be traumatic for you may not be for me. Mm-hmm. And what may be traumatic for me may not be for you.
Yeah.
It's all based on our journey and what we are purposed to do, right?
Yeah.
So you might be dealing with, you can't find love, or you're having a hard time loving yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And finding love.
Yeah.
That's another message, because usually when you learn how to love yourself, that's when you're able to allow someone else to love you.
Yes.
Hello. But then, another person may be struggling with their finances, and just not having $10 might make them melt down. Yeah. It's different for everybody, but it doesn't make the experience any less significant. It just means that my blues ain't your blues.
And I like you said that, like we all have our journeys. Like in my book, it's different stories. Like I have one poem called Inconvenience Fees. And it's for the women's, like, we're now charging inconvenience fees. Like, we're no longer gonna take what people do. Because think about it, like, I don't know if you heard about this, but Mariah Carey charged her ex-fiance like $5 million because he inconvenienced her. And I was like, hold on a minute. What if we walked into any type of relationship and said, before we get started, go ahead and sign this document, because if you inconvenience me at any time, I'm charging you. And that's one of my poems called Inconvenience Fee. You know?
But that's general. So fellas, don't get mad. Because it goes the other way around. Because there are some good women out here that are with some bad dudes. And there are some bad dudes, some good dudes that are with some bad women. So the convenience fees goes both ways.
Okay.
It goes both ways in love. But I get it though. You know what I mean? Because as a woman, we're looking at all of the hurt and pain that we've gone through. And sometimes it seems like, because it affects men differently sometimes, it seems like we carry a heavier load. So I can get how it looks like, we need an inconvenience fee, because we're more filling. You know what I mean?
We do. And I agree with that. Even the poem book, it seems like it's catered to women. It's actually catered to men as well, because the second part of the book, Temerity, is men also want a whole woman. You know what I mean? Like, what does a whole woman look like? So with that unbossed, unapologetic superwoman Temerity, it shows what a whole woman looks like. So if a whole woman's asking for inconvenience fees, okay, she knows her worth. If a whole woman says that you have to recognize my worth, then she knows her worth. So this book is not just for the females, it's for men who wants to know the language of a woman who knows how to be a woman.
I love it.
Yes.
So listen, she done already told you, because we forgot to mention it, both albums that she spoke of is in that volume of Unbossed, Unapologetic. So see, right there you got both albums right there on the spot, and you don't have to get that. You get the albums, get both albums, but the book has both volumes right there for your convenience. Pocket size, for you to carry it with you for encouragement wherever you go. Well, Tammarrah, I thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure seeing you.
Thank you.
And I absolutely know you ain't going nowhere. You're going to give us a treat in a few short seconds. But now comes the time. I thank you guys so much for joining me tonight and for hanging in there with me. Again, I want to say thank you to our official sponsors, Sea Turtle Auto Detailing, GE Staffing, Global Executive Staffing. Thank you to Barget Aesthetic Studios. And thank you so much to Medallion Travels for your sponsorship of this event. And the biggest sponsor that I definitely can't go without, and I've been mentioning the whole time, is You Broadcast Media. Listen, most of you don't know, this was my home when I first started in the online TV series. And so it's such a pleasure to be back here tonight with Pen The Writer's Utopia. I hope that you have enjoyed meeting each and every one of our authors. I hope you're looking forward to the few that are to come in the next couple of months. Remember to keep up with us. You can go right on over to QuiToLife.com. That's QUI, the number 2, life, LIFE.com. Grab your books. I know you were inspired. I was inspired. I done read all these books at least 2 to 3 times already, and I'm still inspired by this story. Don't miss out. And if it's not for you, but you know someone that needs it, get it for a friend. It's National Reading Month, baby. Bless somebody with the gift of story. Well, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank you again for joining us. Make sure you like and share this with your friends and family in case one of them can be blessed by what we've shared. And if all hearts and minds are clear, I'm going to encourage you, now that you have the tools and now that you've been inspired, make sure you go and write something great. To close us out tonight, my favorite special person, Miss Tammarrah Addison, is going to bless us with a poem from her book, Unbossed, Unapologetic. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a safe and wonderful night.
This poem is for all the women out there. Happy National Women's Month. It is called
dazzle of zebra. Dazzle of zebra, she who stands as an individual, given the raw deal of being born, from birth was scorned as a nettle rash, lacking the qualities of the beard, the pale skin, and cash, told to bow the head or be discarded, seen as been weak-hearted because she was a lower class, just trash. And the zebra stands with words unspoken at the watering hole. She knows that in order for her to be heard, seen, freed, at one point someone had been on knees, hanging from trees, not given a chance to get those degrees. And the zebra stands with word unspoken. So in good taste, she goes to the back door. In poor taste, she's doing nothing more. And now there's a distaste, because in this case, inequality, hate, and the disregard of gender and race has been served, and it's cold at the watering hole. The zebra now stands facing the king of the jungle, being too afraid to drink, to think, to live, consisting only of blood, sweat, and tears, not living, not giving, not using the gifts that have been bestowed on the soul. See, for too long, they allowed a self-serving narrative to be the declarative that we are not worthy to quench the thirst of life or be first. Dehydration at its worst. She then calls upon the dazzle, knowing that a community with unity can bring down brutality and give us back our humanity. Knowing that finding your identity and leaning on the Trinity can bring back our temerity. Knowing that fear being checked can bring back the respect and put a new world order in effect. I am woman, hear me roar. I am here, I am woman, hear me roar. I am here, I am woman, hear me roar. I spoke my truth, heard my voice. I made a choice at the watering hole. I would quench my thirst, being aware of my enemies, not giving in to inferiority. See, fear no longer had a place. I stood among the dazzle and realized that my time had come to take a stand. And that was the theme that brought together a team. See, ladies, remember, we could be a new soul and never again be afraid to go to the watering hole. This, once again, is dedicated to all women, knowing that you can stand against anything, knowing that a zebra cannot be broken down, and that's what we look at you as. Stand tall, women. Be a dazzle.